Welcome to episode 378 of the Game Deflators Podcast. My name is John, and I am joined by Ryan.
Hey, everybody here at the Game Deflators Podcast. We like to talk about games. We've recently picked up games we're currently playing, and we throw it down a hallway in this week's Inflation Deflation Challenge.
What? What is that? I don't even understand how that correlates to Final Fantasy XIII.
Final Fantasy XIII is the hallway game.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying now. Just a linear aspect of a long hallway. Okay. All right. That makes much more sense. All right. What else are we talking about this week?
All right. So this week we look at the future of fantasy in Xbox's 2026 Developer Direct. Then somebody should check Ubisoft's pulse because I think they can see the light after canceling 6 projects. And we finale with Final Fantasy XIII in the Inflation Deflation Challenge.
Wow.
You aren't proud of me this week?
I'm surprised you didn't add anything about like lightning or anything like that in there.
Right? I know. Let's hope Xbox can catch lightning in a bottle.
There you go. We got it.
There's a live one for you.
Well, of course, you can find the Game Deflators podcast on our out-of-date website, thegamedeflators.com. It's actually kind of up to date now because I put in the games I'm playing, but I still need to update all the like podcast part of it. But yeah, beyond that, you can also find us on YouTube. So if you're watching, thank you. Like, subscribe, comments. Tell Ryan you love his new hair. And then, of course, you can find us on social media at Game Deflators and at The Game Deflators on all of your favorite social media applications. And we are a podcast as well, predominantly. So go ahead and find us on your favorite apps. If we're not on there, let us know. All right. And 5-star reviews.
Remember, if you get bored, take our shorts out of your pants.
There you go. So pickups. All right, nothing. I got no pickups. We're good. All done with that.
Wow.
Yeah,
oh my God.
You know what? No. I have some pickups.
No, I'm lying. I'm lying.
Nope. I got some pickups. I think that I didn't. Did I show these already? I did. It was the magic cards. I'm trying to find things. I got nothing.
You're like I got this complimentary pen.
I'm looking.
I got 25 cents in my pocket.
There's nothing around me. I got no pickups. I'll pick up a pen. That's it.
There you go.
That's it. All right. So what am I currently playing? As you all know, I've been playing Prince of Persia with my wife for some time. We are no longer playing Prince of Persia. We're done. Finished.
Why, John?
Why? We didn't complete it. We couldn't complete it. Like, literally could not complete it. So we went ahead and progressed to a certain point, and we had a battle. All right. Battle took us all the way down to like this minuscule amount of HP. Okay. Finished it up. Didn't have any way to zip back or whatever with our, the time, the sands of time, be able to go back. So we went to save. All right. We're like, all right, cool. Like that battle sucked. Let's save because the last thing we want to do is fall down or something. And then we lose all of our HP. So we went ahead, we saved, and we're like, all right, let's look around for healing water. There was no healing water. Okay. We're like, all right, well, that kind of sucks. So we had to do some platforming around, of course. We jumped up on top of a wall, made our way to some like poles to swing around and do what we need to do. So the last part you need to get to, you're swinging on this, on this pole to get across this other side. Well, every time we landed, we lost the little bit of health that we had remaining. So we literally could not finish like jumping to the other side.
So what happened when you died?
You died. And so when you died, it just restarted you from the save point. And since there was
there's not like a load checkpoint?
No. And there was no healing. There was nothing. So we saved, not realizing that, well, we're going to get to this point.
Like soft locked yourself?
Yeah. Basically locked ourselves from progressing. There was no way to move forward. And I was like, this is insane because there's at no point in this game have we ever concluded a battle and there's been like no healing water available for us. So we were just absolutely shocked. We looked all over every part of this level and we were like, okay, well, maybe if we twist, the beams or whatever we need to go on.
A guide?
Dude, yeah, we looked up the guide. We were doing exactly what we needed to do. There was no water to heal. There was no ability to heal at any point. We were already saved, so we couldn't progress because of the whole jumping thing. We couldn't go back because the door that we were at locked behind us where the healing was prior. So that little bit of HP, like if we just had a little bit more, we would have been okay, but we just could not progress. And I was so pissed, man. We were like 75% through the game at that point. So it is what it is.
Sucks.
Yeah, no, it blows, dude. I'm like, I'm not replaying this game. So no way. It was kind of fun at times, and then there was other times it was like, why am I playing this? Like, it's a nightmare. Mainly because it just hasn't aged that well. So you've got, for Prince of Persia, you have really just kind of difficult camera angles in that game, and then on top of that, the volume, for whatever reason, the volume just sucks when you're trying to hear the dialogue coming through. So a good perspective on this is if I'm playing, let's just say Plucky Squire, right? Which I am playing now. And I have Plucky Squire set to 12 on my TV. Prince of Persia, I have to crank it up to a 45 on my TV just to be able to hear the content that's going on. And that's the dialogue. So if I'm in battle, the battle sounds are much louder. And trust me, I've gone into the settings. I had the dialogue all the way up and I had the battle tones down, right? Could hear everything else perfectly. The dialogue just sucked. Could not hear it the way I needed to.
What were you playing on?
I was playing on a PS2. Yeah.
Betrayal.
Yeah. Betrayal from the PS2. You know, you might think that the PS2 is dead at that point.
Why wouldn't you try it on the PS3?
I didn't want to pay for it on PS3.
Oh, wait. Do you have a backwards compat PS3?
No, but
I thought you did.
No, but you can buy it for PS3. They have the the upscaled version for PS3 that was released at that point. They did it for Jack and Daxter. They did it for that, and then they did several other. Sly Cooper was another one. So, yeah, but it just sucks. So then we decided let's move on to Plucky Squire. It was on our list of things to play anyways, and we are loving that game so far. We so far have progressed from we got kicked out of the book, and we're in kind of the room, running away from beetles and such right now.
Just the first time?
Yeah. So we've played like 2 hours, I think, up to this point, or maybe like an hour and a half of game time. And it's good. I mean, it's very fluid movements, and yeah, it's fun. It's quirky. I love right now how you can, the puzzle elements of it. Like, okay, you got to jump from this like 3D environment to back into the book environment, back into the 3D environment. Being able to sneak around the beetles and such so far that we've done. The battling is pretty nice. Like, I haven't had any issues with the battling up until this point. And then just the ability to upgrade things as well is kind of nice via finding light bulbs everywhere and upgrading different abilities and such has been pretty straightforward. So I'm liking it. It's easy. It's a little bit of a cozy game in a sense, and that it's not very difficult. And it's just something that I can sit back, play with my wife, and have a good time.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's like the execution of it is like simple, straightforward, well done. But the imagination of the game is just kind of one of those things that's like, man, how has nobody really thought about this like storybook come to life kind of concept before? Like, it seems kind of so obvious when you see it. You're like, wow, why didn't anybody ever like think about that before? That's genius. That's like such a great idea. So I'm super pumped to like I keep it as my wallpaper on my phone right now just to remind myself to go back and finish it, because I actually want to finish that game. And then I've got Returnal on the inside, because those are like my 2 PS5 games right now that like I want to get back to playing, but I've been kind of distracted here already for a little bit.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, if what's the name? Is it Humgrump is his name, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wizard. Yeah, I like that whole you go up to tower and it's kind of talking about like, you as the Plucky Squire. What's his name again? I forget the Plucky Squire's name. He's got a specific name.
I think it's, let's see.
So I like how you're with these companions and you're making your way to Humgrump and
Jot.
So Jot, that's right. Jot. That's right, because you're like jotting something down. I like when you get to the tower and you make your way up and they're like, oh no, we're gonna let you do your thing. We don't want to stand in your way. And then he's just like, it's funny because the way that they position it is Humgrump has had to go through this multiple times with Jot before. Like, oh, I found the Plucky Squire book, and it ends the same way all of the Plucky Squire books end, right? you're the one that wins, I lose, blah blah blah. So he goes through that whole motion. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, because when you think about it, they could theoretically do additional Plucky Squire games in the future based on the fact that there are other books in the series that they can go back to within these stories. So I think it's pretty cool.
And the story could be in anybody's room. So you could be in a library and have to go through the whole series.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool too. I mean, you're right. It could be any sort of situation. It could be that the book is left somewhere in a park, and you got to find your way back.
What's the movie, the Page Master?
Oh, dude, that's like one of the best movies ever.
Oh, if you're a young person and listening to us, thank you. Check out the Page Master. That's a sick movie about a kid going into books.
Isn't it Macaulay Culkin? Isn't that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah. I just had I had my son watch it with me recently. The whole concept of that film is great, right? And it's the reverse. It's a kid getting stuck into different fairy tales and such. And
yeah, I guess Plucky Squire is kind of like a reverse isekai, because he's coming out of the fantasy world into the mundane world.
Yeah. Whereas in this case, Macaulay Culkin's character, what is it? He's riding his bike and it's a crazy rainstorm and he gets in a library.
Something like that, yeah.
And you have a creepy type. What's his face? Who's that?
Is it Doc Brown?
Yeah, it is. What's his name again? I'm like Christopher Lloyd.
I can't remember his name.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, Christopher Lloyd's like, come on, come to the back, and it's like abandoned looking library at this point. And gets him to read a couple books, and then I think Christopher Lloyd is technically he's not the Page Master technically. I think it's Macaulay Culkin's character's Page Master. But yeah, no, it's a great book, or not great book, but great movie. Definitely has withstood the test of time as far as animated films.
Unlike the Sands of Time.
Unlike the Sands of Time, yeah, you're definitely correct on that one. All right, how about yourself? I see you got lots of pickups, right?
Yeah, I got pickups as well this week. I did watch a bunch more GDQ. That was fun. I watched a Final Fantasy X run in I think it was less than 3 hours.
Jeez.
Wild.
No way. How's that even possible?
With all the cutscenes removed and just speeding like a madman. It's crazy.
There's no 3 hours to do that? How? I'm just trying to are they just clicking through dialogue really fast and then?
Yeah, it's just it's a little bit modified because they have the cutscenes totally removed from it, so it's not like they're having to skip the cutscenes. They just aren't in it.
Oh, okay. So it's a modified version of the game to be able to speed run quicker.
Yeah, they do that a lot for certain games. And then I saw a really wild new arbitrary code execution, or ACE they call it, for Wind Waker in 20 minutes or something, and he made a bunch of mistakes. But it's so wild, some of these things that they do. There's a bush that they could take a picture of, and then they to get the camera, they have to do this trick where you swim back and forth really quick, up and down, and every time Link turns around, he gains negative speed, and there's no negative speed cap. So you just have to mash the stick up and down 500 times, and you have to do it 30 times a second or 15 times a second to get there. And you can pause buffer it, but he just did it, and you just fly. And then you get the picto box. You take a perfect picture of this bush so that it has this very specific value. You go back to the starting island, do some trick where it's you're talking to two people at once, and then you go stand in a specific point, and you've disabled the chats, and then you can put the picture into the empty value where the dialogue should be that's activated, and it just warps you to credits.
What?
Yeah.
That's so dumb, man.
Dude, it's so cool.
You gotta imagine when we were kids and we were getting the flute in Mario 3 and thinking like, wow, this is the greatest way ever to beat a
We're
game.
blowing
This is
through
so
this
fast.
game.
Yeah, like look at all these cheats and what we're doing. People are doing this crazy crap. That's
Yeah, it's
nuts.
insane. There's so much cool stuff. I've watched a bunch of fun speed runs, and then it got me thinking about something. I don't know exactly how it got triggered, but like they say like anybody could do a speed run. And there's also like a bunch of randomizers. I think maybe I thought about it while I was watching the DK64 randomizer like race that they were doing that was pretty cool. But there's a Paper Mario randomizer. So I downloaded that and I started it, but I think I'm going to restart it cuz like you have to make your seed and you can choose like all the different kind of random that you want in it. And I don't think I made mine random enough. I just kind of did the vanilla that it had, but I want to read a little bit more. It's just like I've never had to do a thing where to learn about this, I have to go into like a Discord and try to like pour through the Discord to like learn how to do stuff because it's not just like it's not a community that's big enough that it just has like a website that you go to that just has everything. And like most of the YouTube videos I haven't really taken the time to watch because I've been spending my time watching the speed runs lately instead of trying to learn more about this and explore it. So that's something that I'm going to try probably on and off for a little bit to see how that goes. But yeah, I haven't gone back to Red Dead. Like I know that I got kind of into it a bit before we played it last week, but at the end of the day, I kind of decided that I'm not really ready right now for a whole nother Red Dead playthrough. It's installed on the PS5 and it looks gorgeous on there. And I may revisit it even later this year or something. But as of right now, I'm not going to fully commit to that.
Well,
And one last thing.
You're in a race with me on Plucky Squire.
Okay,
right?
we can race on that.
We can race on that.
Hey, I beat you last time.
That's true. Let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hold on. You beat Let's Go Eevee. I didn't have that. I was playing Let's Go Pikachu.
No, but we were racing the games.
They're two different games. They're two different covers.
Yeah,
One's Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah.
You know, look at the alphabetical order on that one.
So when I was going through my PS3 just now before the podcast playing Final Fantasy XIII, I noticed Eco in my like list of games that was on there. So I don't know if that's something I bought or if it was a part of PSN or PlayStation Plus at some time. I think that's probably what it was because that's how I got most of those games on there. But it said that my like license had expired or something. So I need to hook my PS3 up to the Wi-Fi and take a peruse and see if that's a game that I have access to on the PS3 maybe.
Well, Ryan, I'll have you know if your license expires because you never owned it. Sony owned it. You just got a license for it to be able to play it for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
That was your rent on their game that you paid full price for years ago.
So I don't know if I need to like resubscribe to PlayStation to get that back. Perhaps.
I don't know. Were they Yeah, they were doing free games on PS3, right? Back then?
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been so long. It's like way near the bottom of my list too. So it must be one of the first ones I think I got because it's not alphabetically ordered.
But is it worth it to do that or just pick up the collection of Eco and Shadow of the Colossus on the PlayStation 3?
I don't know. How much is that?
Probably like 30
I've
or 40
got price
bucks.
charting up. I'll go.
Or you can pick it up on PS2. Play the OG with the great cover that comes with it. So, just saying, you got some options there that are going to be cheaper than an entire year of PlayStation Plus.
Well, you don't have to buy it for a year.
So you're going to buy it for a month?
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, no. The complete in box Eco Shadow of the Colossus is like $18.
There you go. Now you get 2 games in one. But you already beat
Or the
Shadow
OG PS2 is only $32.50.
That's more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so PS3 version it is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for our pickups and such. Quick news. Oh, is that your cat that I heard in the background? I thought that was your wife.
No, we got a like heating mat in this little house for her down here, and it has a timer for 12 hours at a time. So she gets grumpy when the heating pad goes off.
Bougie ass cat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it
I mean,
is.
it's been cold here, man. It was like 30 out today or something.
Yeah, it was like 72
Not like during the day, but like at some
morning.
point. It was really cold this morning.
It was like in the 30s or 40s today for us too.
And it's been like Silent Hill outside, man.
Yeah, you're in Washington. There's like fog everywhere.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Quick news. We should have like a flashing thing that comes on the screen. So, was just looking it up and I found a random article on the PlayStation 6. It's basically just rumors about the likely portability component of it in the future for 2027. Reason being is when you look at the Switch 2, you look at the Steam Deck, they're highly popular consoles. What else can Sony do other than create a portable like console, right? Something that's got a dock, you got the Switch, and then it can continue to tote probably better graphics and things like that with those titles. So, what this is pulling from, and this comes from Yanko Design. So, I don't know.
I think it's
haven't read
Yonko.
from them, but Yanko. It depends on
Yeah,
where
I've
you're at,
seen
man.
some like articles on their site before.
Yeah. So essentially, what it's saying is for Sony to be able to compete in 2027 with those consoles, they kind of have to go hybrid, right? And what they're doing today, it says that they filed a patent not too long ago that allows games to be like downscaled in a sense or not have to use as much power within the console. So basically, saying it's for like energy efficiency, but in reality, they're saying, yeah, they're training developers to create their games at a lower scale so that way it could be modified for portability down the road on the PS6 for specifically PS6 games. And then when you look at the console as a whole long term as well, they're saying, yeah, one of the other things that they could do here to make the PlayStation 6 more appealing, given the price points and things like that that we're likely to see at that stage in time, is to make it backwards compatible with the PS4 to PS5 and the PS6, and then to have emulation built in for your original games on PS1 and PS2. So, not a whole ton of information other than just being rumors and just general thoughts. But I was kind of curious, in your opinion, do you think Sony needs to go hybrid to be successful in the next generation?
I mean, I think that most of the consoles are hybrid at this point. Like, I think pretty much all of them have some sort of dock functionality. And I mean, they all can have a wireless controller synced up to them. So, like, the thing that the Switch has is tabletop mode, really. Like, that's the only thing that's missing from the others is that, like, the Switch on its own, you can just put it on a table, pull the controllers off, and have two-player game. Like, nobody else really has that, but that's like the least engaged with mode for the Switch, so it's really no love lost. Like, people want to play it portably, or they want to throw it in a thing and have a controller and play it on their TV. And I'm sure that you could do that with like the Steam Deck and the ROG and all that stuff. So I don't think that that's going to be anything new or really exciting. That'll just kind of be par for the course. One thing that I really wonder about how PlayStation's approach is going to be to this, because like this Yonko article here has a bunch of, just like stylistic pre-render ideas of like how it might be able to look. But I feel like Sony has always like the Vita and the PSP and everything, they were like very like rounded kind of shapes, and this is very much like just kind of that like rounded square kind of shape. So I wonder if they're going to do it more kind of like that standard template that everything else has, or if they'll go more outside of the box, kind of like they did with the PlayStation Portal and like really give you some grip on there and make it more of like a controller and a defined kind of experience. Because I know that like the Steam Deck probably has a little bit more shape to it, and then like the Xbox ROG Ally that has like some pretty like handle, features on it. And for like more long-term sessions, like a lot of people don't like how you have to like hold the Switch as much, or like flat consoles don't really, they travel better, but there's all these different compromises when you're looking at, and I just wonder if Sony is going to go like which way they're going to go. I think in the past they've also had, experience making much smaller portable consoles, and like you're really testing the limits of what a portable console is these days. Like these things are not like pocketable. It's not like a device that you could imagine everybody having. It's really like a luxury item that you take out on an airplane, or if you've got some kind of commute. But like most people aren't really traveling with this device on like a regular basis. It's more of a home thing than anything, really.
Yeah, one of the other things that the article talks about is how Sony's, in a sense, over the years, perfected the approach to what is going to be that PS6, right? So when you look at the PSP, you had the one joystick, right? When you look at the PS Vita, or really the PSP Go, it had the two joysticks there, and it kind of, had the flap out functionality and all that. That was, in my mind, a totally different approach to what they were looking to do. The Vita truly was that next step up.
Love my Vita.
And I now love mine, right? So that has its two joysticks, but you can't press down the L3, R3. You've got the little, pads in the back and such for that. And then the Portal has really kind of taken it to that next step, right? It's combined the screen component with the actual like grips of the controls that people like, and it's when you think about what the PS6 could be, um, I think the PS6 could be a blend between the Portal and what the Switch 2 is. So, what'd be really cool is if they had some sort of way to be able to magnetically clip two sides of a PS6 controller together. Like, clip it to the screen when you want it, and then you could clip it off, and then that's what you're using for your main control. That'd be kind of interesting. Similar to the Switch, but like literally one piece versus having to like dock it into the holder.
I think that's a lot of engineering, like I said, for like,
but it'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, and God, I'm so tempted so often now. I see so many things like in my Reddit feed now. I'll see, just got the Portal, man, this thing rocks. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. I like see one of those like almost every day.
I was reading someone left a comment on our YouTube a little bit back, and I think they had said that you have to be connected to Wi-Fi to really get the experience of the Portal. Like I think you have
because
to,
it's just streaming.
Yeah, it's just
It's
streaming
not
from
like
the device
on
so,
there.
Yeah, so the idea being, if your internet's dropping out and you're in the middle of the game, you're kind of shit out of luck at that point.
I mean, when's the last time your computer was just like, my internet's out, unless it was like Cox's problem?
My internet was on the fritz for the longest time because of my my router. That's why I got that new router.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you've seen the beast
Maintenance
of a box.
issue.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it. This thing's gonna spider up and kill me one of these days.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's what I'm saying. For the most part, like if you've got good internet, you're fine. Like you would know if you live in the house where you've got to like walk out front with your phone because you can't make a call on your Wi-Fi and your house has no signal, like you live in like a lead box, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely not worth it at that point. But yeah, I mean, if you're in the suburbs or like urban areas, like totally fine.
If you got it working, you know how it works.
Yeah. All right. That's it for that.
Moving on.
All right.
This is yours. Yeah. The Xbox Developer Direct 2026 that happened just today as we are talking. This will be in the past for you as you are listening, and you have already probably heard a bunch of people's opinions on these games. But I think that I have a very different take than probably what you're going to hear from a lot of people. So I feel like this Xbox Developer Direct is Xbox trying to like woo me back since I bought a PS5 and I declared that I was getting off of Game Pass, because every one of these games has something for me in it. We'll start from the beginning, as people often do. For Forza Horizon 6, I was not like really big racing game person, but I played the Forza Horizon on Xbox early on, like when I got my Series S. It was on Game Pass, and I thought it was sick. I had a great time with it. The open world aspect of it, it was just like a fun party. It like showed you the line to drive, which I thought was infinitely cool because I didn't know that was a thing in racing games, but it made me like better at the game and gave me something to shoot for. So I really enjoyed that. Forza Horizon 6 now going to Tokyo and Japan. Love it. Can't wait to drive around those streets. That'll be super cool to like drive the sites, and just like the world that they built here is so lush and cool looking, and they always do such a great job with these games that this one's going to be incredible.
Won't that be going on PS5 anyways?
Eventually it will be, yes. Then they said so.
So
I mean, all of these things will eventually wind up on PS5, but
yeah, so they can woo you all you want or all they want. You're going to be playing it.
But
on
if I want to
PS5.
play it sooner, like a year to 6 months or more sooner, I got to go to Xbox.
You do what I do. You get an insurmountable backlog, so that way you don't feel so bad when you don't play it.
It's okay. I mean, that I'm gonna just wait anyways, like on it, all these. But the last like moment, last couple of seconds of that Forza trailer, they had a big old like Gundam foot step down. So I'm wondering if you're gonna be able to drive a Gundam. That would be so cool.
How would that even work? It's a racing
It's a car game.
Yeah. So is it gonna like? Are you sure it wasn't a transformer?
No, it only showed the foot, and it didn't look like, it wasn't like the classic RX-78 foot, because I could tell you if it was that. But like, I haven't seen like Gundam G Cooks or whatever it's called. It's so weird of a title.
So you could tell Gundam by their feet?
Yeah, I mean, they're like a humanoid leg. Like a lot of mechs have like chicken walker legs, or like specific, but it's always like the kind of like shape, and most of the hero Gundams have that like white with a red offset, and this had that like white shin with like a red kind of framing around the foot. So it was very Gundam, but not exactly the design style I'm used to.
I gotta ask, are you buying Gundam feet pictures? Just saying.
I should be, right?
Okay.
This is the ultimate Gundam feet pic trailer.
Like all that. Right, all right, I saw that Gundam foot pic. That's got me on. I'm going back to Xbox.
Right? Damn! Look at that one. It's huge.
All right, go on.
So next up, Beast of Reincarnation. This is Game Freak doing something other than Pokemon. The last time that I remember them doing that, I got pretty excited and I bought that Little Town Hero.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was an interesting game. It was definitely something different. I know that they make more than just Pokemon. And obviously, like, this is where all their art budget goes. Like, I don't know how they can make a game like this and then they make Pokemon just like the way they do. Like, it just baffles me so much that like they can do such like interesting visuals and such a unique thing. And then the Pokemon companies just fucking ship it. Who gives a damn? Just throw some wallpaper on it. It's good. Is Pikachu in there? They'll buy it.
I mean, you have to consider there's Game Freak is its own entity, right? And then Pokemon is owned by Pokemon Game Freak,
Pokemon Company,
and Nintendo. Yeah. So like the Pokemon Company itself has, there's no one individual company making that decision. It's probably geared by both Pokemon and Nintendo, and Game Freak's like, all right, well, we want part of that cash cow, so we're just going to continue to, do our thing with them based on the decision they want to make. I think at long term, we're going to get a good looking Pokemon game finally.
Yeah.
Based on like what we're
I don't
seeing
know.
here.
Maybe not. Like, I
Probably
think that
not.
we
No.
all think that, and we're all like, okay, they got the Switch 2. It's like crazy powerful, but like they didn't even utilize, like, there's such good looking games on the Switch 1. Like, there's no excuse for it to not already be there. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna act so surprised when Pokemon, what is it, like Clouds and Waves or whatever is the next one
Something
that's
like
coming
that.
out.
Yeah. All
It's
I
gonna
want.
come out and it's gonna be like Paper Mario Clouds and Waves.
All I want from Pokemon is voice acting. That's all I want.
That's what a lot of people want.
I could deal with the crappy graphics and go through it and enjoy it, but what I can't
Just don't
stand,
make me read.
yeah, what I can't stand is at this point in the generations of game consoles and the amount of money that Nintendo and Pokemon and Game Freak have made over the years, and there's no voice acting whatsoever. Like they're
Just
like
some slight gesturing.
at this point, I would even take AI at this point. But like, I know there's plenty of voice actors out there to be pissed off at me saying that. But if they're not using you anyways, at least let's just get some voices into there.
Because the thing is, if they do voice actors, like,
they got to pay more money.
Well, it's not that they have to voice act like all the NPCs and characters. It's that they need to voice act 1,000 Pokemon at this point.
Yeah, but the Pokemon
they need to pay somebody to go in a booth and be like, Rampardos.
But they already
like
have
for
that.
a half hour.
But they already have all of that, man. They've got it's because they come down to royalties. Well, no, because like those original voice actors from the first series, where they actually were paid a lot differently than today's voice actors for Pokemon. I would imagine like Pikachu's had his voice redone over the years. Like all of that stuff exists. They have the audio files for it. So
I don't know, man. They got roasted
for
over the coals for using like the same wireframes between the DS and the Switch. Like, somebody, if they did that, they'd be like, no, I don't think so. That's a 2003 Zapdos from the movie. Like, you can't just, where's the new Pokemon voices?
Well, and that's a good point. Like Moltres and Zapdos and Articuno don't have voices. They just have sounds or birds. They don't talk, do they?
And like Starmie's like, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Like some of the Pokemon don't, it could just be generated from like some random ass sounds.
Well, and they need to decide that. They need to, like, for the first, well, I guess they probably have shown every Pokemon in the anime. At some point, every Pokemon's appeared in the anime. So they know which ones actually say their name and which ones don't.
Yeah. Come on. Game
Freak
Freak
has arbitrary decisions that were made.
Basically, like you said, what Microsoft has shown us here in this developer direct is Game Freak, when given the right budget, can create something that looks beautiful. So Nintendo and Pokemon Company need to give them more money. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. And honestly, like if they got more money for a Pokemon game, that would sell like crazy,
how could
man.
they get more money? They have all the money. It's the most selling thing ever. Like
a bigger budget. I'm saying a bigger budget to be able to develop the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
Give them a bigger budget, see what they can do with the Pokemon franchise. And I guarantee it'll sell a crap ton of copies for both older generation players as well as new generation players.
I mean, it's already going to. That's the thing, is they don't have to do anything because it's already going to sell. Like, there's nobody that's not going to buy the Pokemon games at some point.
And, you know, I mentioned that last week. Pokemon Nintendo fans, they don't give a shit. They'll buy it anyways, just because it has the name. Yeah, that's all it is. So, all right, continue. I think there was 2 more games on this list.
So moving on, this next one, man, this was tailor-made for me, and it's going to hurt because, like, this is going to be the game that all the other outlets and people are going to be like, what is this? Like, this is not, like, worthwhile for showing off here, but it's Double Fine, and Double Fine is great. I actually watched a pretty good speed run of Psychonauts 2 this week, and I played Psychonauts 1 like at least half of it for the first time like a year or 2 ago, and I had a lot of fun with it. But Double Fine always puts out like a solid game, and they made a game about pottery and ceramics. And anybody who listens and doesn't know, I went to college for ceramics, so I absolutely love to see this. It's a wildly interesting game where you you go into a studio and you actually throw a pot. Like you make a pot or a cup or whatever kind of shaped vessel that you want to, and then it becomes imbued with a spirit, and kind of based on like how big it is and its shape defines like the type of character it is and how it moves and like the types of attacks and animations it has. And then you go into like a multiplayer kind of like arena battle sort of game. Like basically you have like attacks, and each team has a kiln that they're trying to douse out the flames from, and depending on like what type of vessel you are, you can carry so much water to bring with you to dump on the fire, but you also get like smashed to bits by everybody. So this just looks super interesting, totally out of left field, not something I would have ever expected to see, but I am just so excited to check this game out. Like it may not be the best thing ever, but it's definitely going to be one of those games that is just something that I've got to play and experience, and will probably stick with me for a long time, even if it isn't something that I wind up being like, because it is like a multiplayer kind of focus thing. Those usually only hold my attention for so long, and if it doesn't have a robust online, it's not going to be something that other people are probably going to want to like sit around and play as much. So when this comes out, I'm definitely going to try to get as much enjoyment out of that one as I can.
So I guess two questions is, when does the Ghost DLC come out for that game?
Right.
And then I already know this is going to happen. There's going to be a lot of phallic pottery running around in that game.
I mean, in ceramics, you can't avoid it.
No, you really can't.
It's just it's part of making ceramics is joking about making bongs and dicks.
Yeah.
That's just part of ceramics.
They might even have a whole game like mode for that, bongs versus dicks. Like that might just be what it is.
And then
I did, so on that one in particular, I did watch.
I told you to watch that one.
Yeah. So you said there's a pottery battle royale game. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, there's no way that exists. And yeah, sure as hell it exists, and it looks cool. It's definitely something that I would probably look into playing as well. So I don't know.
We'll have a good time. We'll can do bongs versus dicks.
We'll play bongs versus dicks. Yeah, there we go.
And then to close it out, oh man, finally a deep, good, interesting look at Fable. Oh, this is going to be so sweet. So this is actually something that we've mentioned before, because this game was announced how long ago, John?
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
14 years since the last game, by the way.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's with a whole new studio. So this is by Playground, who also makes, what did we talk about earlier? Forza Horizon. So they are a team that is well equipped to handle big, lush, giant open worlds, and that's exactly what they are doing here with Fable. And it looks like they're bringing back all of the classic Fableness. Like, we've gotten some fun kind of trailers up to this point, but it really had a good look. It seems like the graphics are holding up to kind of what we thought were going to be the graphics, but it was kind of hard to tell in some of those other story trailers. We did get to see that you can make your own character. People were worried that you were going to get stuck with the character that they had in the trailer, but not true. So that's cool. But yeah, it's got all the...
I would have been shocked if you could not create your own character.
But it's got all the classic stuff. It's going to be like in the same world with the same like capital, the same heroes guild. You're going to be like the first hero in like an age. So I don't know exactly what that means, but maybe there's not a lot of other heroes around, or maybe they're all old. I don't know exactly, but it'll be cool to just kind of be back in that world. I was telling John before the podcast how much I really liked Fable and how it did so many things so well. So I'm hoping that like the story elements will live up. But as far as like the enemies that are returning and the, I'm sure it'll have the same experience thing. Like, the fun thing about Fable was that it was like a game where the more you did stuff, the more those things increase. So like all you had to do was run around and use more magic and your magic would get better, or use more bow and your bow would get better. You didn't have to like level up and spend points and do all that kind of like investing to somehow get somewhere arbitrarily through a menu. Um, but it's got here, I guess if Fable could do it, Pokemon could do it. 1,000 fully voiced autonomous NPCs.
That's crazy. That's a lot
So
of people. Well,
yeah,
I
said
imagine
that
it's
all
not
of
like
these.
it's not like 1,000 different people though. I imagine it's like,
Yeah,
wait, is
they
it
said they
seriously?
all have names, they all have routines, they all have like you could be romanced and turned into like your partner and have kids with them. They're like
But 1,000 different voice actors, or just 1,000 different characters?
it just says 1,000 fully voiced autonomous NPCs.
Okay, so yeah, it's probably a voice actor doing however many characters. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but
Regardless,
they're
it's
all
cool.
like different characters in the game. So there's going to be so much choice. They kept emphasizing and talking about like choice and consequence, and like how your actions will kind of play out and affect the world. And that's like always been the big thing with Fable. And it's something that like so many other games like talk about, but have lost sight in. Like, I feel like a lot of people felt that way about the last Dragon Age. That just was like, people thought it just like you really didn't get the choice that they wanted. A lot of those types of games like are giving you kind of these false ideas of some choices these days. And so this seems more like hopefully going back to that original Fable and kind of how it lived up. So I was super pumped on all of these. I haven't watched anybody else's review yet of the showcase, but I saw some like mid like just thumbnails and stuff on YouTube. So I'm gonna go on and see what everybody else thinks about this. But I have very positive outlooks for where they're gonna be in 2026 and their catalog that they're gonna be releasing, and I can't wait for it to all come to PlayStation.
I like that last sentence. All right, well, sounds exciting, and of course, there's a couple that I saw on that list I really like, so definitely excited to see what happens. The last article we have here is that Ubisoft has canceled 6 projects, including Prince of Persia: Sands of Time's remake, and they have closed 2 studios, and they've confirmed that there's more layoffs coming. This comes to us from IGN. So the Prince of Persia game, not really canceled per se, based on what they said. It's going to be a different version. So like they've canceled that iteration from what I was reading. It's not off the table to do Sands of Time again from what I was
Well,
reading.
you know what happened?
Earlier. The Sands of Time struck and they soft locked themselves out of being able to progress. Is that what it was?
Yeah, so they were working on the game and they just like they saved at the wrong point. Now they can't make this jump.
Oh,
So
I see.
they had to cancel the game.
Yeah. Seriously sucks, man.
It's a skill issue, really.
Yeah. No, definitely not a skill issue. I'll tell you that. That was a screwed up issue, and there was nothing I could do, anyways. Like, just legit nothing.
That's just what Ubisoft said.
It's pretty much what came out of that. So the other games, so they've also got games okay, let me step back. 6 projects, including Prince of Persia, gone. The only one that we know about is Prince of Persia. They've also gone ahead and pushed back the releases for other titles. The only one that we are aware of that has been not even aware of, it's a rumored one, would be an Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, which is supposed to be getting pushed back from 2026 to 2027. That is an assumption, of course. Nothing has been announced there. They did, of course, close 2 studios because, surprise, surprise, consolidation, less money than they anticipated for the year means that everybody else has to suffer. And then they're looking to restructure a number of things. So really focusing on live service games, the franchises that are bringing them the most bang for their buck in terms of development. They are citing higher development costs as well. So that's part of that restructuring. And then, of course, just in general, they're saying, oh, yeah, we've got so many projects that we worked on. They're not turning enough money. So we're going to focus on, of course, the things that are generating us money. That's the entire idea there. And then more layoffs are, of course, coming. So, I think they announce layoffs are coming in advance so they can try and get people to quit on their own versus having to pay out severance. That's got to be a strategy for some of these companies to do that. So people get scared, they jump ship, they go somewhere else, and oh, okay, you quit. We don't have to pay you however many thousands of dollars per person. So that's all I got, man. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, so Ubisoft has been in kind of a bad way for a while. This is a lot of money down the drain, time and investment and people's careers. So there's just like it certainly sucks that Ubisoft kind of just keeps digging themselves a deeper and deeper hole, and most of that comes from just like poor management and them like trying to, I think they were trying to get like acquired or something a few months back, and
I,
that didn't really end up happening,
that
right?
could be it too. They might be consolidating
To make
offices.
themselves more purchasable.
Yeah, that could be something they're
But I
looking
know
to do
that
as
they
well.
want to maintain like a crazy amount of control. But so basically, they've divided now. They've got like different studio houses that are, or creative houses, they say, that are going to be holding up like different brands and, kind of ideas and kind of have different focuses. So, I mean, it just kind of is what it is, unfortunately, and they're leading the wrong part of the industry. They're leading the industry and going downhill and layoffs and everything. So, um, I guess from this article, it seems like Beyond Good and Evil 2 might still be somewhere in there, but that's like the holy grail of games now that are like have been in development for way too long, and they just keep throwing money at it, you know, throwing good money after bad. And I just don't think that they're ever going to be able to get enough of a return on that to make it worthwhile and for it to actually come out in a good enough state. And maybe that's just what happened with Sands of Time. I mean, they tried rebooting it once already, and it just like it, it's a good idea, it's a great series, but like if you can't make it work right now, you can't make it work right now. Like, and I think one thing that the studios kind of refuse to do in these situations. And I've said it before, but I saw a really good video, I think last week, talking about Bethesda, but like you can't have such an iron grip on these IPs. Like the world moves too fast. If you can't do it, let somebody else freaking do it, man. Like you might want to in-house make uh another Sands of Time remake, but like you could let another studio do it. If somebody can license that from you and they've got the idea and they've got the spark and the time and the team, let them do it instead of trying to force it to happen where you're at. Cause like that's why we're probably not going to get another Fallout until like 2030 something. Like
Well,
the show's doing great right now and there's nothing around to play.
so the other thing too is like rather than have all of these different projects going on simultaneously, why not focus on and they are now, right? Like they've shut a few things down to be able to focus on some of those core projects, which is fine. But like, do you have to cancel? Could you say, hey, instead of having team A, B, or B, C, and D working on these three other games, let's pull in members from team B over to team A to finish up the remake and then consolidate C and D to work on this game, right? Like
Mm.
why and obviously like I'm saying it from an easy view. Like clearly if you're working on one game and you got to jump over to work on the next game, it's definitely there's a learning curve. Not a learning curve in terms of development, but a learning curve in understanding what the heck is going on and what the
Getting
project
on board.
entails and yeah, onboarding that team. But I would feel that you're losing talent, you're letting talent go. You're then cutting all of the work that's been done, removing it. And for what? Like, it's just lost money at that point. Like, is it tax
Mm.
write offs? Is that what they're more concerned about? I'm not sure. But it just seems like an odd way to move forward with your business. To shut out titles, it probably like Prince of Persia, a remake probably would have sold pretty well, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like I said, it hasn't aged well. So a new one would probably be very welcome at this point. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It sucks. But hopefully that talent finds jobs in, you know, new locations and can deliver in those areas. All right. Let's go into our inflation deflation, which is Final Fantasy XIII on the PlayStation 3. This was developed by Square Enix first production department. I had no idea they had a first production department.
I
It
didn't know they
was
had a second one.
uh, maybe they don't. Maybe this is just the first one. Square Enix is the publisher, of course, and then it was directed by Motomu Toriyama, released in March of 2010. It is a role-playing game or RPG, and the scores vary. Some positive, but also strong criticisms towards this game. So 5 to 9 out of 10 is where this game sits on the reviews. But Ryan, let all of those great people out there know what Final Fantasy 13 is all about.
So Cocoon is in turmoil as the Fall Sea activity has triggered a purge of the citizens. Lightning teams up with a diverse cast of characters to try to save her sister Sarah from the fate of the Pulseless Sea. This game has a big reputation and several sequels, so this is really just the start to the story. But it was a wild take for Final Fantasy when this game first came out. I think that, being fresh off the heels of Final Fantasy XII, which wasn't really the best received. It was the Gambit kind of battle system where you weren't really in direct control of your characters in the way that you had always been in like a turn-based combat. So they started really getting funky with the design around here. And this was very much like the start to kind of the action-y more feel to Final Fantasy, and they really took it to like this futuristic, very mechanical, like even beyond like what they were doing in like Final Fantasy VII was a little bit, kind of more techy, but this is like flying cars and ships and robots, and everybody's got guns in like the opening scene. It's like a full blown like insurrection. It's wild.
Final Fantasy X had a lot of like airships and guns and things of that nature, though.
But it was all like that was like in the world in the beginning, and then that all was kind of like the lost leftover tech. This is still like the High Empire kind of like era where it's like it's all happening now. They're at like the peak of technology and civilization, seemingly, with like these floating cities and stuff, and it's just like it's a cool. It looks very cool. It's very catching. It's definitely like knocked me out. I was like, wow, this game still looks like incredible.
Yeah.
Like off the bat, it just looks so good. And I forget that as long ago as that seems now, just like how crazy good the PS3 already looked.
Yeah, my wife was watching it and she was like, wow, like this is, I can't wait to get to games that look exactly like this for Final Fantasy, because she's still on Final Fantasy VII as her next one. Although she's already stated she's going to play the remake, and that's what she's sticking to. Like, you could play the original. It's like comparing a book to a movie. The original
she's
being
not
the book.
Going to play Final Fantasy VIII until after she beats all 3 of the Final Fantasy VII remake games.
Yep. I was like, I'm like, we could just play the original.
You guys are going to be grandparents by the time she gets to 10.
I hope not. I want to play 10 with her. Yeah, and 8, I'll probably buy like a remaster thing of 8 or HD upgrade of 8 and 9, because those are out in market. So that way she has that. But yeah, with this game in particular, it's like she was excited, but I was like, don't get too excited, because like why we're here is the tutorials in this game. And this is, I think out of all of them, probably the longest tutorial out of every single one of them. People say, well, tutorial's just beginning, right? No, this tutorial goes in through like legit chapter 5 of the game. It is extremely linear, to Ryan's point, where you got a hallway, essentially, especially in that first section.
It starts off like literally just on like roads, and roads are super linear, but it's one of those things that it's got this reputation for being such a linear game that like right from the get-go, where you're just like, there's nowhere you could go except for forward, and you're not prepared for how much the game feels that way.
My favorite thing is it tells you in the game during that like first phase of tutorial, and it's like, oh well, the enemy's up ahead. They will be notified of you if you're coming close, and you'll initiate battle. It's like I can't avoid the enemies. So
I
like
was
why?
running around him. I was juking him like I was a speed runner.
Yeah, I mean you could juke them all you want, but like that's kind of ridiculous. You're on this road and you gotta like just try and cut around them and stuff. Like, come on, like I get the idea, but shouldn't you maybe do that in a field type of setting, or like a
Right.
wider, like a city type of location? So yeah, it gets a bad rap because of the linearity of the game itself. And like you can't choose your party leader till chapter 5. Some people say it feels like you're playing 20 or 25 hours of gameplay by the time you get to that. Uh, in just the like little bit of time I played, it's been a while since I played this game. Didn't beat it years ago, but so I do need to finish it. But even that like hour of time that I spent with it felt like forever. Just that little bit of time. And I'm not really looking forward to playing it again down the road.
It also has like the auto battle kind of
Yeah.
feature in it. So I mean, as much as people criticize like RPGs for like not being engaging and just being kind of like a menu thing, like if you're into that kind of gameplay, you're into that kind of gameplay. But just mashing like auto battle, like it's not the most effective way, but you could probably play a ton of this game and probably will play a bunch of this game just mashing the auto battle. And it's not necessarily that much different than just mashing like the attack button like you normally would when you're kind of like picking everybody's individual moves in like an older Final Fantasy game. But I just like the difference between the speed of it just makes it feel good, but like good like eating, popcorn. It's just kind of like you just kind of shovel it down and just like you just keep mashing and going through, and it's quick and you're getting it, but it's just not very rewarding. Like it just doesn't feel as satisfying. Like I'd much rather play Final Fantasy IX than Final Fantasy XIII.
I think most people would rather play Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy XIII. Yeah. But to your point, and as we said earlier, great graphics. I do like the music of this game. The characters are all right. The battle system.
It's a weird story. Like
Yeah.
even trying to write the summary, because I was trying to read a summary, it's just like, here's all these proper nouns that don't make any sense, and good luck with this, because it's really just kind of like a prologue game anyways.
That's true. You got 2 other games. What is it? Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Returns, and 13. What's the other one?
I don't know. Lightning doesn't strike twice. I'm not sure.
I mean, lightning didn't strike the first game, and sure as hell didn't do it the second and third game, right? Yeah, like I said, music is good, graphics look great. I kind of do like the battling in this one, where you're not like lined up together, like lightning will
You
jump
kind
in
of
one
move
area.
around
Like,
the field a little bit.
yeah, and can we talk Baby Chocobo? Come
Baby
on now,
Chocobo's cute.
Baby Chocobo kind of redeems it.
One thing that I think is kind of interesting is that like when I started the game, so much of kind of the things of Final Fantasy felt familiar from 13. And I was like, I haven't seen this game in a long time. Like I know Bree played it a handful of years ago, but it was the cards. It was from the Magic set. Like I remember like Zaz, his chocobo in his hair, like, cause I played that card like when I went to draft night. So it's like I remembered a lot of this stuff kind of from that recent exposure from the Final Fantasy Magic. So
Yeah. Well, let's get into some pricing here. So
pricing.
a
This is where it gets good.
Yeah, a complete box copy to run you $12.22 that peaked at $14.17 in January of 2014. That price is actually trending up right now. A loose copy will run you $5.69 that peaked at $13.83 in February of 2014. That price is trending down. Digital console $15.99 for Xbox, and on PC it is $15.99 on Steam. It's also advertised on Steam right now for $6.39 through February 4th. in my perspective, complete in box, 12.22. I would say that is deflated. I think if you found it
That's
for
a good game.
$15, yeah,
That's a good deal for like any game.
yeah, especially an RPG, right? Like a Final Fantasy mainline game. Like, come on. So, despite its linearity and such, you're still getting a decent game overall. You're getting to
And a
experience the story
manual.
and a manual. Yeah, a thick manual too, right? That's a pretty heavy one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're getting quite a bit out of that for about 12.22. So I
Do you
definitely
have the
think it's
red
worth
one,
it.
or do you have the
I have
black
the
one?
I have the black one. Yeah. I don't have any greatest hits on PS3.
No.
No. I hate the red labels. So if I have one, it's because it happened to be like not a greatest hits, but like the red on the outside, across the logo. So, well, it sounds like we are both set that this is deflated. So totally worth picking up a copy at $15, despite the negative criticisms about the game. So we're going
And
to
I
pop
think
that in
some
there.
people have kind of come around on the backlash. Like, I think there's a lot more Final Fantasy XIII apologists these days that are kind of trying to garner back some of its reputation. So I don't know what that's all about, but I know that there's a community out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did a lot of people crap on it at first? Yeah. And a lot of it's because of that linear aspect of the game, right? When you're playing things like Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy XII, and then you get thrown into that. But even 10 was linear as well.
Yeah, I remember 10 being very linear, but the world was just like
A little
disguised better.
Yeah.
I think. And I think that Final Fantasy 12 or 10 got away with it because it was the first, like, oh man, like these PS2 graphics, like I can't even handle my shit anymore. Like there's too much. And like the sphere grid, like Final Fantasy X was just so good. I don't think it mattered that it was linear, because I think up to that point, most games were linear. Like you weren't really, like, until very late in the games getting like, some kind of aircraft to be able to travel and go open world.
Well, and even so, Final Fantasy X, funny enough, like it's one of my favorites, but it is probably one of the more linear titles out there. When you're in the airship and you're traveling location to location, it's not an open world format. It's a list that you're going from like location to location. So
I never made it that far.
you don't even get that flex. Really? That's a fantastic game. You should play it.
I
It should
know.
be
I got stuck at Lady Unalesca.
it should
That's
be
right before you get the airship.
it should be a new games resolution for you next year. That's
But it's a
solid
game
one.
I've already played.
Yeah, but you haven't
The
beat
new
it.
games resolution is supposed to be a game that we've never played.
Okay.
That's
good
why I
point.
had a star for 2 games. What was it?
Gotcha.
Night in the Woods and something else.
Yeah, so that one is pretty linear as well. But you're
Okami.
right. Like a lot of those games probably have like linear components to it, and don't feel as open world. But even like Final Fantasy VI, like yes, you had like the towns, and you could explore the towns and go through all these different things. And yes, it
Yeah,
was
Final
linear,
Fantasy's always been pretty open.
but you do have that open world map and the exploration. It kind of comes with
9
that.
and 7 have a ton of that.
Yeah, 7 you can go find knights around. You can go on the Gold Chocobo and like the different explore all of these different areas. Whereas 10, you don't do that. You're just like, cool, I'm in the
maybe
Calmlands.
13 got it so bad just because 10 was linear,
but it was a fantastic story.
It was so fantastic. And then 11 was an MMO, so that kind of didn't count. And then 12 had the Gambit system, and people just really weren't into that. And then 13 was like, okay, this is Final Fantasy, but it's so futuristic and there's too many proper nouns and it's too linear. It just, it kind of got dumped.
Yeah, 10 was that nice blend, like you said, of future but past at the same time. Even though it felt to me like it's more future than anything else, but still, I liked it. It's definitely there at the top of my list. So
the one thing I think is really interesting before we stop is that this game is like on the PS3 and it's stuck there. Like there's no version of it on PSN right now that you can get.
Well, it's on the Xbox.
There's no version on any Nintendo console. You can't play it on like the Switch or the Switch 2.
But you can play it on 360.
Yeah, you could play it on Xbox. And you can play it on Steam.
Can you play it on can you play that version on the Xbox One or the Xbox Series
Yeah, because they've
X?
got their backwards compatible program where almost every game is backwards, from the Xbox all the way up. You can play them pretty much.
So really, it's stuck for PlayStation users. It's stuck on that console, but not necessarily other consoles.
But also not on Nintendo. So it's weird. So I think that the trilogy or the series of these are going to be primed for remastering and putting out on modern consoles soon.
Well, at the time of its release, it was during the Wii and the Wii U. So I wouldn't have anticipated it to be on either of those consoles, given the size of that game.
Well, no, but everything is on the Switch.
True.
They had the last 10 years to put it on the Switch almost.
True, but I don't think anybody's clamoring for a remake or remaster of Final Fantasy XIII right now.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird even for 12, but I could see
that
12
was a good
over
one.
13.
I almost beat that. I think I only have to do the final boss in half a dungeon.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You should beat it. All right. I don't know what we're doing for the next theme of games. Okay, we've done racing games.
Yeah, we'll figure out something for February.
Yeah, well, maybe it's
maybe we'll not say something rashly right now.
It's February. We got to theme it out like Valentine's, right?
No.
Come on.
Games of love.
It'll just
I think those are
we're good because those are what is it? The narrative based games. What are they called? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I guess it's that where it's just literally a story and you flip through and you're just kind of reading and you might go to a little location, you read more. I'm not in that. So, see, I don't even know the genre because I really don't like it. So, all right. Well, until then, this has been episode 378 of the Game Deflators Podcast. My name's John.
I'm Ryan.
And thanks for listening and watching.